Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
We're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family's been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation.
Fox 17 News at 9. We start with breaking news as 4 days now into this search. Crews telling us they are reevaluating the search area involving a missing Sumner County teenager.
That's right. No one has seen 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers since he left his home in Shackle Island near Beach High School on Monday. Now hundreds of volunteers have joined the search. Take a look. This is a look at the map that shows some of the areas, the expansive areas investigators have been trying to comb through, thinking maybe he's there. Drones, ATVs, officers on horseback, helicopters, they're putting every resource they have in an effort to locate Sebastian Rogers.
New tonight, the autism community of Middle Tennessee is rallying behind the family. Leaders say they are ready to storm the hills to try to help find Sebastian. They say it is common for children with autism to wander off or run away. It's something called elopement.
Sometimes individuals are trying to get away from something, some kind of overstimulation. Sometimes they're trying to get something that's desirable to them.
Moore says that she knows Sebastian likes to hide and feels more comfortable in confined spaces. This makes finding him an even greater challenge, but one that everybody is ready to meet. We'll stay on top of this breaking news story for you. And for our continuing coverage on this story, go to fox17.com and search Amber Alert Tennessee.
Continuing coverage now on construction issues downtown in the Gulch. This time, people who are living and working in that area say an oil leak covered their cars, causing businesses to lose customers, and it's just a hassle. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller now live at the construction site to tell us more about exactly what happened and the lasting impact.
Yes, Scott, well, you can see right next to me here on the road where exactly this oil leaked. Now, we reached out to NDOT today, and they say that there was a split in the hose, which then caused the oil to leak out off the crane. And this is one of many issues that businesses have been seeing here at this construction site in the Gulch. Oil all over the road, loud construction noise at night, a road collapse, and more cranes going up. This is what Barry Volker says he's been dealing with nonstop for months at the Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott on Division Street.
It's an ongoing fight to overcome the adversity.
Volker says it's impacted their business because he says their guests are missing excursions and rides due to on and off road closures and high traffic. They even handed out earplugs to deal with the noise.
The review stated, guests are talking about it. It's hard to walk through construction zones and, still hard to sleep for some of our guests.
This time, it's an oil spill causing problems. Fox 17 News reached out to Yates Construction about the oil spill earlier this week. We didn't get an answer. We reached out again and did hear back. A spokesperson with Yates is pointing fingers at a subcontractor, saying a hose on a crane split, causing the leak. Yates says the subcontractor cleaned up the mess on the road and is working with those who saw damage to their cars.
We're constantly in development. We need to figure out how to develop and how to grow, but as I've said, not at the expense of the people that live here, the people that work here, and not at the expense of our small businesses.
Business owners say they are happy with how proactive Metro Councilman Jacob Coupin has been about the ongoing construction problems. But Christian Spears, CEO of Tennessee Brew Works, says businesses like his are really struggling.
So if you can't have foot traffic to a hospitality style business, then what can you, how can you survive?
Spears says right now it's a fight for small businesses to survive in this area. Metro Councilman Jacob Coupin introduced a resolution that would restrict overnight construction from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. here in the Gulch area. He says that it did go on to third reading, so if passed, it would go into effect this May. Reporting live from the Gulch, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
How you feel Commissioner Reynolds has credentials to be in the role that she's in.
Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, Fox 17 News going right to Governor Bill Lee, asking about concerns over Tennessee's education commissioner. Democrats say she is not qualified to hold that position. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin getting answers right from the governor.
It's been quite the back and forth between state leaders. While some Republicans feel Lizette Reynolds should be overseeing our education system, others aren't so sure. Tennessee's Education Commissioner Lizette Reynolds was sworn in last July, but her appointment has been controversial, with questions raised about the commissioner's place of residency. Democratic lawmakers claim she is not a Tennessee resident, citing tax records. A spokesperson for the Department of Education sent Fox 17 News a copy of Commissioner Reynolds' voter registration card in Davidson County, Tennessee. You have to be a resident to vote in the state, and in Davidson County, there are no exceptions. Democratic leaders also feel Reynolds does not have the qualifications to be overseeing the state's education system, citing her lack of experience in the classroom. They are also calling for Reynolds to resign.
Per state statute, she is supposed to have a teacher's license, which she does not currently have. So since that time, we just started looking into her background because we thought some other stuff may be out there.
Before this role, Reynolds served as the Vice President of Policy for Excel in Ed, a nonprofit focused on education policy. The Director of Media for the Department of Education says Commissioner Reynolds' credentials and professional experience qualify her to serve as the Education Commissioner, and they're proud of the work she's doing. We took some of those concerns directly to Governor Bill Lee. On how you feel Commissioner Reynolds has credentials to be in the role that she's in. I know that she doesn't have a teacher's license, but would you just be able to expand more on specifics?
I mean, I think she's qualified. We've determined that, and that's kind of all there is to say about it. She's qualified for the job.
Fox 17 News submitted a public records request for Reynolds' resume and personnel file. We are still waiting for those documents. This comes as Governor Bill Lee is hoping to expand the controversial school voucher program. This program would use taxpayer dollars to allow families to send their children to private schools. Reporting in Nashville, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, an update on the battle over school choice as House Speaker Cam Sexton is accusing state union leaders of not telling teachers about the House version of this bill because they are against school vouchers. Now, speaking to reporters today, Sexton says if teachers knew that the House bill would give them more money, pay more of their health insurance, and give them more teaching time by reducing mandatory state testing, he thinks they'd support it. Critics say the differences in the House and Senate and the governor's voucher bills are reason enough to be against it.
Based on the initial conversations I've had, the rank and file are in agreement. They might not agree with choice, but they're good with the bill because of the information that's in it and what that means for the classroom.
So there'll be a lot of opportunities, I think, for us to look at what the House is doing, for them to look at what we're doing, and I think we'll land in a spot.
Now, House and Senate Democrats oppose a voucher bill in any form and say Republicans are just trying to ram this through before the public has an opportunity to understand what is in their respective bills. Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' ongoing commitment to expose problems in our schools and to look for solutions. If you have a story you'd like to see us cover, send us an email to news@fox17.com detailing your idea, or you can phone our tip line, 615-266-4149.
In politics tonight, weeks after announcing his retirement, Representative Mark Green now once again running for re-election. The congressman from Tennessee telling Fox 17 News he had accomplished all that he set out to do in Washington. He also said he was not worried a Democrat could possibly flip his seat with the GOP holding a slim majority. Now, Representative Green says supporters and party members twisted his arm. Green would run against former Nashville Mayor Megan Barry if she was to win her Democratic primary.
New tonight, a loss for open records advocates in Tennessee is a bill that would allow state leaders to conceal certain tourism records moves forward. This measure would essentially allow the state to hide details about negotiations for 10 full years. Critics say that means if the state uses a lot of your tax dollars to wine and dine potential tourist groups, put them up in posh hotels, fly them in and out in private jets, you wouldn't know about it until, quite frankly, it doesn't matter anymore. State leaders say they need that kind of freedom, though, to land big events like, say, a Super Bowl.
And today was a cloudy and cool day for us. We only had 50 degrees right here. There's a live look over Broadway. A decent crowd out there right now. The Preds game's still going on. I'm sure once that game finishes up, though, that crowd is about to get more crowded on a Broadway. Temperatures right now, it's cool, 44 degrees outside. Still cloudy. We're going to keep those clouds around with us, too, as we head through the rest of the night. That rain chance is also going to go up through the overnight hours as well. 30s and 40s, depending on where you're at. 37s, Cookeville, Crossville, 41 in Murfreesboro, 45 in Columbia. We're at 42 right now up in Clarksville, 41 in Hopkinsville. Radar still showing some of these showers moving in from the south, and this is what's going to be moving in. This is a wide view of radar. You can see those in the parts of North Mississippi. Those are going to keep on pushing up here in the middle Tennessee. Most areas right now, though, is still on the dry side, but these rain showers get more widespread as we head through the overnight hours. They're going to stick around with us, especially for tomorrow morning, off and on through the afternoon, too. Not as much in the afternoon, though. A nice warm-up is on the way, and then we're going to be talking about more rain early next week. I'll have the details on all that and the timing here in just a bit.
All right, game on. Just how quickly the new covered Titan Stadium, which they broke ground on today, will begin.
On our full line of F-150s plus 1.9% financing for 72 months available. Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
You're not in it. A historic moment for the Titans as they officially break ground on a new domed stadium. This project has been years in the making. Now, it won't be ready for fans until 2027. But as Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick shows us, the team says it'll be worth the wait.
For 27 years, this has been the home of the Tennessee Titans. Home to Titans games, also concerts and community events for the city of Nashville. Now there will be a new home right here in this area next to the old stadium. Now that new home isn't coming for a while. 2027 is expected to be the first NFL season with the Titans' new stadium, but there will be several milestones along the way. For example, the half of the outside structure of the new stadium is expected to be completed before this year, 2024's NFL season, and the rest of that outside structure, the skeleton if you will, should be completed by 2025. Of course, all the technology and the bells and whistles will make this whole piece exciting, but it was also important to the franchise to make sure that this was also a place that represents the community of Nashville and the spirit of this city.
I think it's pretty hard to understate how important this moment is. It's a mark the moment for Nashville and Tennessee. Certainly it's great for our franchise too. We're excited for the team, we're excited for our fans, but I think it's a lot bigger than even our franchise.
I think the future's bright. You know, Amy made a commitment to be here for another generation, however long that is, a new lease. And I think the organization is doing everything they can to be a Super Bowl contending team, and I'm really excited about the move that they made.
It is for the fans all across this state. It is for the people that will benefit that might never even come to this stadium, but will benefit from the opportunities that are created and the impact that it has on the view that the rest of the world has of our city and of our state that makes us the best state in the country.
Country music stars Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks also took part in the groundbreaking and even got their hands dirty a little bit and picked up a shovel. The two of them mentioned how excited they are, of course, for the new stadium to be built, and also how excited they are to be playing it one day. Once again, re-emphasizing that this new home will not just be the home for the Titans, it will be a home for everyone here in Nashville. Reporting from the future home of the Tennessee Titans, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
A lot of people are excited about this. Let's take a closer look at the renderings for the brand new Titan Stadium. Up above in the end zone, this is the Nashville stage that will be here, a place for live music. And then as you can see, the roof, that's going to be a translucent roof letting sunlight in. The seats, another cool feature here. They're more than 30% closer to the field.
I like that. Now, as always with a big thing like this, we want to know what you think. Which of these features at the new stadium are you most excited about? First on our list in terms of asking you is the roof, you know, the dome, that translucent cover. 36% say, yep, all fired up about that. The rooftop bar, 11%. Stage for live music, 5.9%. But apparently just under half of people say they are not excited. Well, not yet anyway. So far, 643 votes are in. The poll's live right now. We'd love for you to cast your vote. Just take your cell phone out, use the camera, scan the QR code there on the right-hand side of the screen. It will take you to our X page poll. Our handle is @FoxNashville, and we will update these results for you later in the newscast.
Well, it was cloudy and cool today. We had high temperatures remain 8 degrees below normal for this time of year. We had 50 degrees. We are going to get a nice warm up, though. I'll have more on that here in just a second. If you have any plans late tonight, for whatever reason, it is a little bit chilly. We are at 44 right now here in Nashville. It's still cloudy, too. There's your live look over Broadway. The Preds are playing right now. They are winning, but once that game wraps up, Broadway going to have a lot more people on it here in just a little bit. 30s and 40s current temperatures for everybody else. 41 in Murfreesboro, 45 down in Tullahoma. We're at 45 in Columbia, 42. That's the current temperature up there in Clarksville, and 41 right now in Hopkinsville. As far as any rain goes, most of us are still dry right now. We do have some of these showers, though, that are back west and south of us. Some of these that are up in the parts of North Mississippi and Alabama, those are going to keep on moving up to the north, and that's going to leave us with that rain chance as we head through the overnight hours. But most spots dry right now. Not seeing a lot of rain, but just give it a little bit longer, and more of those rain showers are going to start to move up into our area. More showers are, again, obviously going to be moving in tonight, too. And it appears that I have the wrong show up, so I'll try to just give you a quick rundown right now. But the rain showers move in for tonight. That's going to clear on out of here by late Monday into late. Man, I'm all sorts of confused. Today's Thursday. So by Friday, we're going to keep that rain chance for Friday. And then as we head on into Saturday, that rain chance is going to start to drop down. And for the rest of the weekend, we are going to warm up. We're also going to dry out too. I think by Saturday, we'll have highs in the mid-60s. And then as we head on into Sunday, we're going to have those high temperatures back into the mid-70s. And then early next week, that's when that rain chance is going to start to pick back up for us. Monday, we could see a few showers develop for the afternoon hours. I think the best rain chance, though, comes late Monday on into Tuesday. Tuesday will bring in the better chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Monday is going to be another really warm day for us too. I think we'll keep high temperatures in the mid-70s for Monday. And then as we head on into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they drop down a little bit, but they still are going to remain above normal for this time of year. I'll have more on that and show you a futurecast and the 7-day and all that coming up here in just a little bit.
Brett, thank you.
And get away now before these deals are gone. Lease an Elantra for $179 a month or get 4.49% APR for 60 months or $1,000 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end 2/29.
In your entertainment news tonight, we've been watching Mount Juliet's Mitchell Kalinsky on Farmer Wants a Wife right here on Fox.
It's been fun. Mitchell's joining us live right now via Zoom. Mitchell, first of all, thanks for doing this. We love the show and like following you in the progress. Is it getting any easier, essentially dating a handful of beautiful women all live every week looking for, the one?
Tough job.
It is getting a little bit easier as the weeks go by because we're getting closer to maybe finding that true love story and getting closer in the numbers, to where we're trying to get to. So, yes, it is getting a little bit easier.
Oh, gosh, Mitchell. Well, it's like, you take one step with one woman, then the other one gets jealous. It seems like it's hard to juggle it all.
Yeah. And you put a bow in their hand tonight, too. Dangerous.
Yeah. Well, that's a big part of my whole story. I'm an avid outdoorsman, grew up hunting with my grandfather and father and brothers and cousins, so I got to have a girl that'll match that same lifestyle with me, that's for sure.
Now, you got a chance to do a little slow dancing. Megan and I were talking about this, about the chemistry.
Yeah,
we did. We got a little bit of two-stepping on that dance floor out there at Ty Farrell's farm, and man, that was so much fun. It gave us a chance to break loose and really just enjoy each other's company to some good music.
Well, how are you processing everything? I'm sure that, you've got your pros and cons list. There's things you probably like about each woman. I mean, how do you narrow it down?
I truly, this is what I've said the whole time, I got to go with my gut because this is our real lives. This is true love stories and true connections that are getting made. So if I'm not feeling a connection, if the girls aren't feeling a connection, they have the option to leave as well. So I just got to stay true to myself and true to my heart.
I know. We're showing some video right now of you and Kiana. You guys had a moment, clearly some chemistry. You told her so, but like Megan said, that causes friction. Oh, and there is the kiss. How was it?
Yeah, it was great. That was a great moment for, a little bit of reassurance on her end, just to let her know that I still care about her and still want her here on the farm with me. But as to be expected, there's going to be a little bit of angst with the other girls when they see that girl.
Yeah, we're excited for you, man. Every week, and Megan and I talk about it in the office. Such a gentleman. We appreciate the way you are, representing folks here in the mid-state. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah, you're the best farmer they have on there.
Y'all are so sweet. Thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
We're
Hope to see you next week.
Yeah, we're pulling for you. Mitchell Kalinsky, thanks so much, and we'll continue to tell folks what's going on the show.
Sounds good, y'all.
All right, still to come tonight, a former mid-state deputy on the other side of the law. What he has to say about his role.
Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, a former Williamson County deputy is sentenced to almost 6 years in prison for his part in the January 6th Capitol riot.
In court today, Ronald Maccabee told the judge he's sorry for those who lost someone that day. Prosecutors say he dragged an officer from Capitol Police on the ground by his legs into the crowd and hit another officer who was trying to stop him. Maccabee's attorney says his client tried to help the officer. Prosecutors pointed out that Maccabee was wearing a bulletproof vest and brass knuckles. You see his gloves there at the time. Maccabee got 5 years and 10 months in federal prison, but he does get credit for the more than 2 years he has already served. Continuing coverage now on the crisis at our southern border. In case you needed any more proof of just how important immigration is in the presidential race, which is ongoing, both President Biden and former President Donald Trump were at the border today. Fox News' Connor Hansen breaking down their dueling border stops.
It's time to step up. It's time to step up. Provide them with significantly more personnel and capability.
President Biden urging congressional Republicans to pass more border security during a visit to Brownsville, Texas on Thursday. Just 5 hours away, Donald Trump pointed the finger at Biden, saying it's his open border policies that have led to a record number of migrant crossings in the U.S.
This is a Joe Biden invasion. This is a Biden invasion over the past 3 years. I call him Crooked Joe because he's crooked. He's a terrible president.
Ahead of a likely rematch in November, the president and former president made dueling visits to the southern border. In Brownsville, Biden met with Border Patrol agents and local officials, fending off critics who argue the migrant influx has moved elsewhere.
Brownsville traditionally has been ground zero for this problem.
300 miles away, Trump toured the city of Eagle Pass, the center of an ongoing court battle between Governor Greg Abbott and the Biden administration over border security issues, including the placement of razor wire in the Rio Grande. The trips come as a growing number of Americans name immigration as the most important issue facing the country, according to a recent Gallup poll.
The policies are just Band-Aid solutions, so there really isn't a clear, concise path for people to make it in here.
As the immigration debate continues, a federal judge on Thursday blocked Texas from enforcing a new law that makes illegal immigration a state crime. In Brownsville, Texas, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Covering the Capitol tonight, the battle over the best way to secure the border continues to cause heated debate up in Washington. Joining us tonight to dig deeper into the issue is Senator Bill Hagerty, who represents Tennessee. Senator, you are proposing a new bill to add DUI to the list of crimes for deportation. What inspired hammering home on this?
Well, this is an oversight that has been in place, it should be in place and is not. When we have the level of illegal migration that's coming to this country, we need to be looking for every means we can to remove people that are endangering the lives of Tennesseans, endangering the lives of Americans. This is clearly one of those areas where I think we need to address it. I would have certainly much preferred to see our border secured, going back to policies that worked under President Trump, like the Remain in Mexico policy to end catch and release, which the Biden administration reintroduced, to actually get back to building the wall again. But in the absence of real progress, in that light, legislatively, this seems like a very no-nonsense sort of addition that most Republicans and Democrats should be able to get behind.
Well, it seems like both sides of the aisle are really trying to make the border a focal point. President Biden is down at the border today, and so is former President Trump. You voted against the bipartisan border bill. What was it that you couldn't get on board with?
Well, it's very simple. That bill did do nothing to fix the catch and release program. It actually legislated some of the illegal activity that's happening right now. What I wanted to see was something that actually put in place policies that would work and would make it airtight. This administration has demonstrated that they are not interested in following the law. We needed to have something that would force Joe Biden's hand to enforce the law. I had hoped that today, when he went to the border, President Biden would actually have listened to us. I went to the border myself last week with Tennessee sheriffs and mayors. What we saw there was absolute carnage at the border. We've seen people that can't maintain their livelihoods. I met with a rancher there who's had his fence cut so many times that he's given up on ranching. His property is between the Rio Grande and the Union Pacific Railroad. It's a place where people come when they don't want to be caught, they don't want to be apprehended, and they certainly aren't turning themselves in for asylum. He found 15 Syrians on his property the other day. They didn't present themselves for asylum and get the white glove treatment, that is, a change of clothes, some cash, and a ticket to any place they want to go in the interior of the United States. No, they were on his property finding a way to get around all of that. I don't know what they're doing here, but we have now encountered more than 150 different nationalities just at the part of the border, the Del Rio sector where we were last week. That number of people have been encountered just since the beginning of this year. It's an absolute national security disaster at the southern border right now, and we have to do something about it.
Something that we all agree that something has to be done here. Senator Bill Hagerty fighting the good fight up in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us tonight.
Thank you so much. Good to be with you, Megan. Thanks.
Well, I know a lot of people have been sniffing and sneezing and all stopped up. A lot of pollen still in the air from different types of trees and all that sort of stuff. I want to show you this. This was a report that we got sent to us earlier today. These were what the pollens that were high today, and it was the trees that were one of the big issues for us today. Also mold a little bit, weeds and grass really not causing too much of an issue, but we had the cedar, the pine, the sweet gum, trees like that. Those were some of the highest pollens that we had across parts of Middle Tennessee earlier today. 52 degrees, that's the high temperature for tomorrow. We are going to stay a little cool again as we head on to tomorrow. Friday, we're at 80% chance for some showers. Tomorrow, we do see a good chance for some of that rain to move through. I think in the morning hours, we'll probably see the best rain chance. And then as we head on into the afternoon, we are going to get a little bit of a break in that rain, especially for areas along and west of Interstate 65. Saturday and Sunday, we clear out. We could see a few showers early Saturday morning, but overall, I think most of Saturday is looking dry. I think Sunday's looking pretty dry too. And then as we head on into Monday, a 40% chance for some showers. Going into Tuesday, I think that's when we'll see the better rain chance early next week. Could even see some thunderstorms try to move in for Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we're going to keep that chance for a few showers and thunderstorms in the forecast as well. So as we head on into the next several days, we're going to keep on warming up. Lower 50s tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday, we're in the mid-60s, mid-70s. Monday, we're going to stay warm in the mid-70s. We drop down just a little bit for the middle of next week, but still keeping those temperatures above normal for this time of year. Typically, we're in the upper 50s. We're going to have temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday in the upper 60s. This is going out the next week, the following week, March 8th through the 14th. A good chance for above normal temperatures right here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. And then as we head into that same time frame, as far as the precipitation goes, we're also looking at a slight better chance for above normal rainfall amounts as well from March 8th to the 14th.
Just ahead, not just a danger for athletes, the new group of people in the U.S. at risk for CTE.
And things are getting fishy.
At Powertrain for Life with your new Nissan here at North Nashville's Nissan of Rivergate in Madison.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Tonight in Spotlight on America, a new group in danger for developing CTE, a degenerative and often deadly brain disease.
Well, up until now, it has been primarily associated with football players and others that take brutal hits. But as Dwayne Pullman shows us, experts say there may be millions of domestic violence survivors at risk too.
Sadness ripples through the smile in these photos of a woman who died from traumatic brain injuries.
You saw your mother beaten repeatedly.
All my life.
Domestic violence delivered for decades, Maria Garay Serratos says, by her father.
Pushing, shoving, strangling, choking, the head against the car.
Maria's mother bore scars and battled debilitating headaches. After nearly 40 years of abuse, Maria finally convinced her mother to escape.
So you got her away from him.
I had to get her away.
it was too late.
The profound dementia that just started hitting her was very sad to see.
Were you watching your mother die?
Absolutely.
Doctors diagnosed Alzheimer's. Maria, who has a PhD and master's in social work, suspected chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, a degenerative and often deadly brain disease that afflicts football players, other athletes, and members of the military who suffer repeated blows to their heads. But a CTE diagnosis can only be confirmed by dissecting the brain after death.
Could it be described as a silent killer?
Absolutely.
Maria believes the number of CTE cases in domestic violence victims is in the tens of millions.
A silent and ignored, unrecognized pandemic.
Maria's mother passed away in 2015. Maria donated her brain to search for signs of CTE. 3.5 years later, Dr. Ann McKee, a pioneer in the study of CTE and director of the Unite Brain Bank in Boston, finally gave Maria answers. In the documentary, This Hits Home, Dr. McKee delivered the news to Maria for the very first time.
Her brain was just being ruined by those injuries.
In addition to massive brain damage and onset of Alzheimer's, Dr. McKee confirmed Maria's mother also suffered from CTE. It made headlines, the first public case of CTE linked to domestic violence. In an interview at the Brain Bank, Dr. McKee told me more study is needed.
Would you like to study that if you were given the ability to get the brains of these victims?
Absolutely.
Maria founded a nonprofit named for her mother, now focused on a search for a silent killer in violent relationships around the world.
My mission is to create a global movement around the issue of domestic violence and head trauma and CTE.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Dwayne Pullman.
Still ahead, not as easy as it looks. The challenge getting fishy on Next Level Chef tonight. Will our local chef serve?
5 years and powertrain for life with your new Nissan here at North Nashville's Nissan of Rivergate in Madison.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
In your entertainment news tonight, we've been watching our local chef, Nicole Renard, on Next Level Chef right here on Fox. And tonight we're recapping the episode with her. Nicole joining us live tonight. And spoiler alert, Nicole survived tonight's challenge. She's moving on to the next round. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so shocked that I'm in the top 12.
I'm not shocked at all. Walk us through tonight's challenge. So it was island fish, and you really were able to put your own spin on that and make it work.
Yeah, I grabbed tilapia and I was just so thankful to be out of the basement. We were in the middle kitchen tonight, so I'm feeling good. And I actually, this might sound crazy, but I fried fish for the first time. I was going to play it safe and I was going to pan fry it. And then you know what? I was like, I'm here to learn. I'm here to try new things. And so I coated and breaded that fish and I dropped it in the fire and it turned out amazing.
You're telling me that's the first time you've ever done that?
It was. And I was so nervous. I had two and I said, maybe I'll play it safe and do one on the fire and I'll fry the other, and I ended up just frying them both and it worked out.
Wow. Well, talk about talented then too. I mean, you nailed it on the first try. Chef Ramsay said your coconut crusted tilapia was delicious and he called it the real hero of the night. Did you know at that point that you were safe?
Yes, that made me feel so good because they emphasize perfecting the proteins. And so if you nail your protein, even if you have some other questionable things on your plate, you're usually safe. And so the second he said my fish was good, I just gave a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, you're safe. So we're down another chef. Wendy went home tonight. And I wanted to get your take on this. Is that hard to see someone go, or does it make you just that much closer to the prize?
I think I cried every single time, whether or not the person was on my team. Every episode at elimination, I cried because it's so emotional. I mean, we all got so close being on set together in such close quarters for that amount of time. It's just hard seeing people go. We all worked so hard to be there, and it really is anybody's game. So every day it got harder.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were talking tonight and we just found out there is a local event coming up where fans of Next Level Chef can actually meet you. Tell us about your event coming up.
Absolutely. On March 28th, it will be for episode 10. I'm hosting a dinner watch party down at Kindred Farm in Santa Fe. We're going to be watching episode 10 live together, and we have 10 other chefs from the show coming to help cook artisan pizzas for you. So if you want to meet the chefs, if you want to watch the show with us, ask us all the juicy questions about our experience on the show, come out to Kindred Farm on March 28th. You can find tickets on their website. It's going to be the best time.
That is so awesome. Well, Nicole, we can't wait to talk with you next week. We're rooting you on, and all that information you gave us on your event, we're going to put that on our website for you at fox17.com.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
Well, today was a bit of a cool one for us. We had 50 degrees right here in Nashville. Tomorrow we're going to stay chilly as well, but we are going to bring in a chance for some showers tomorrow. Today we really didn't have to deal with much of anything, but right now here's your live look over Broadway. You're starting to see a lot more gold out there right now. The Preds just won. So a good night for all of those Pred fans, and temperatures a little bit chilly right now here in Nashville. This is our current temperature, 44 degrees for us. We are still cloudy, not seeing any of the rain really just yet, but just give it a little bit longer and more of that rain is going to be moving in to Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Temperatures right now, we have 30s and 40s depending on where you're at. 38 Cookeville, 37 right now in Clarksville. Again, Nashville, we're at 44, 42. That's the current temperature up there in Clarksville. The rain is on its way, and here's your wide view of radar. Those showers are still moving up from the south, so moving up from parts of North Mississippi and North Alabama. That's going to keep moving north into our area, and we will start to see more of these showers as we head through the overnight hours. Right now, though, radar is keeping most locations pretty dry. So through the overnight, more of these showers start to move in from the south. This is the midnight picture right here. They're going to be in places like Williamson County, also down into areas like Lawrenceburg, too. That's going to keep on moving up closer to Interstate 40 as we head through the next few hours. Tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, a lot of us with at least a decent chance for some rain showers. The good news is not really expecting much thunderstorm activity with any of this that moves through for tomorrow. As we head through the rest of Friday, I think we're going to get a little bit of a break in the rain for areas kind of along and west of 65. Eastern areas could keep that rain chance around a little bit longer. Saturday morning, we could still see a few light showers at best, but I think most of Saturday we're going to keep it dry, and we're also going to start to see some of those clouds clear out as well. As far as rainfall amounts go through Saturday, we're looking at about a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch in our northwestern areas, and then down in here in our southeastern areas we might get closer to a 1/2 inch. Some areas going just a little bit above that. The rest of Sunday is still looking pretty dry too, not looking at much of a rain chance for Sunday. As we head on into Monday morning, we could see a few light showers, not expecting a whole lot though for Monday morning. Monday afternoon, a few areas get a little bit more rainfall, but I think the bulk of this activity is going to come in late Monday night on into Tuesday. This is Tuesday morning, 7 o'clock. A good chance for off and on showers as we head through the morning hours. This is noon. Some heavier rainfall being picked up by Future Track down there in our southern counties. That's going to be for Tuesday afternoon. That rain chance is going to stick with us as we head through the rest of Tuesday and even on into Wednesday. We'll keep that rain chance as well. So we're going to start out next week a little bit on the rainy side. The good news though, once that rain clears tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday looking pretty dry and warmer. Mid-60s for us Saturday, and then by Sunday we'll have high temperatures in the mid-70s. We stay in the mid-70s Monday, and then we cool off a little bit, but high is still remaining about 8 to 10 degrees above normal or so for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Brett, thank you. Right now, an update on tonight's Fox 17 News poll question for you on our X page. We're asking which feature at the Titans' new stadium you are most excited about. Let's take a look at the possibilities. The dome, the roof up there, the rooftop bar, the stage for live music, are not excited at all. 708 people have weighed in. Not excited at all is the top vote getter, but number 2 is the roof on that place, the dome, which means if it's raining, you're not going to get rained on. If it's super cold, that's not going to affect you either. We would continue to covet your vote. If you'd like to weigh in, the poll is still live. Scan the QR code. It'll take you right there, and we'll have one more update for you of these results on Fox 17 News.
9. This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
In your education news tonight, Franklin Road Academy is growing.
That's right. Pretty exciting news. The board just released plans for a new state-of-the-art upper school building. Take a look. This new 2-story building will have 32,000 square feet. You see this artist's rendering. Plan also includes an environmentally friendly town square that's a green space both for the students and the community to use. The existing upper school building will be knocked down at the end of the school year to make way for the new developments.
In your entertainment news, some of Nashville's top country acts are celebrated in a new exhibit at the Country Music Hall of Fame. Fans can get a look at some of the personal items belonging to Morgan Wallen, Taylor Swift, Oliver Anthony, Jelly Roll, and Lainey Wilson. The American Current State of Country Music exhibit is open now, and it runs for an entire year.
Very cool. Just ahead, a national treasure being recognized by state leaders this week. The celebration.
Plus 1.9% financing for 72 months available. Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
In your community tonight, not long ago, it was on the verge of closing.
But tonight, a treasured piece of Nashville, a restaurant many of you have been to, is being celebrated. Talking about the Elliston Place Soda Shop, receiving a state proclamation honoring its place in Music City's history. This restaurant's been around for 83 years. It has been fully renovated, going strong. If you haven't been there lately, you've got to get in there. Fans of the shop rave about their burgers, their fries, their peach shakes in the summertime, and of course, those mile-high pies.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
We begin tonight with breaking news in Sumner County as we share new information about the specialized tools being used trying to locate a missing teenager who has autism.
Well, this is day 4 of the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. No one has seen the boy since he left his home Monday. That includes any nearby security camera footage. Investigators say his family is continuing to cooperate.
Now, those in charge of the search tell us that they may need to reevaluate the search area where they're looking. The autism community also offering its advice on this search.
Approach me with curiosity. I want to know that you are safe, because if I've been out in the world for days, how safe do I feel?
Stay up to date during every step of the search for Sebastian. Just head to our website, fox17.com, and search Amber Alert Tennessee for our complete coverage and the latest updates. Continuing coverage of construction issues in the Gulch, businesses say an oil leak covered cars and the hassle cost them customers. This just weeks after a road closure cost them even more business. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live from the Gulch with these continued issues.
You can see on the road right next to me where exactly this oil spilled. Now, NDOT says that there was a split in the hose on the crane, which then caused this oil to spill. Now, this is one of many problems that have happened here at the Gulch construction site. This time, an oil spill caused problems. Fox 17 News reached out to Yates Construction about the oil spill earlier this week. We didn't get an answer. We reached out again and did hear back. A spokesperson with Yates is pointing fingers at a subcontractor, saying a hose on a crane split causing the leak. Yates says the subcontractor cleaned up the mess on the road and is working with those who saw damage to their cars. Barry Volkers, general manager of Fairfield Inn and Suites, says the constant construction issues have impacted their ratings online and their business.
If I was a guest that was going to be coming in and I am looking up a hotel to stay, everything was great, people are great, okay, but construction, I may not want to book as much.
Volker says, and it's caused a lot of traffic. Metro Councilman Jacob Coupin says that he introduced a resolution that would prevent overnight construction from 8 p.m. until 6 the next morning. He says that this went on to third reading, and if it's passed, it will go into effect this May. Reporting from the Gulch, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
An update now on the competing school choice bills making their way through the state legislature. Tonight, House Speaker Cam Sexton is accusing local school district and union leaders of not telling their teachers about the House version of this bill because they're, in essence, against vouchers altogether. Speaking to reporters today, Sexton says if teachers are told that they'll get more money under his bill, pay less for insurance, be forced to do less state testing, have more classroom time, they'll support the House bill. But critics say the lack of agreement between the House, the Senate, and the governor on how to do universal school vouchers is reason enough not to do it at all.
Superintendents will want it, teachers will want it, people want it. They may disagree with choice, and that's fine. But the impact of 20,000 scholarships, especially in counties where there's currently ESA, is a minimal impact. Even if you have universal choice in all states, at most it's 5% that use it.
I think it is destined for conference committee.
And look, if we get to conference committee and the only thing that gets pulled out is the vouchers, it might not be a bad thing.
Cam Sexton says he is meeting with his local county school superintendent and school board to explain the House bill tomorrow.
Continuing coverage tonight as Representative Mark Green changes his mind, saying he is not retiring from Congress after all. The Tennessee Republican announced earlier this month that he would not run for a fourth term. Green says he did have a strong desire to leave Congress, but has since received countless calls urging him to reconsider. That includes from former President Trump, who praised Green on social media, saying he'd endorse him if he ran for re-election.
Staying with politics, new tonight, President Biden learning more about the crisis at our southern border with an in-person visit today. Mr. Biden visiting the Rio Grande Valley, the busiest corridor for illegal migrant crossings for nearly a decade now. He heard from a handful of stakeholders there about the biggest needs and the response to the influx of migrants, millions since Mr. Biden was elected. President urging the House to take up the bipartisan border security bill the Senate passed and called on former President Trump to stop his blockade.
Join me, or I'll join you, in telling the Congress to pass this bipartisan border security bill. We can do it together. You know and I know it's the toughest, most efficient, most effective border security bill this country has ever seen. So instead of playing politics with the issue, why don't we just get together and get it done?
House Speaker Mike Johnson promising the Senate bill was dead on arrival in the House, calling it worse than expected. He denies former President Trump swayed his decision, but Republican negotiators call it the most conservative immigration bill in decades.
Continuing coverage tonight, former President Trump also touring the Texas border. Mr. Trump visiting Eagle Pass, a flashpoint in the border security standoff between the state and President Biden's administration. The former president is pinning the increase of migrant crossings on the president, claiming his policies are fueling a rise in migrant-related crimes. He specifically cites the death of Laken Riley, a 22-year-old Georgia nursing student killed last week. An illegal immigrant is facing charges.
Joe Biden will never say Laken Riley's name, but we will say it and we will remember it. We're not going to forget her. It's been just a horrible story that we've had to live with for the last few days. I spoke to her parents yesterday. They're incredible people. They're devastated beyond belief.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott accompanied Mr. Trump during his visit and vowed to keep busing migrants to Democratic-led cities.
Well, a cool and cloudy day for us today, but this weekend is looking a whole lot better. We're going to warm up very nicely once we hit Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be a little bit cool, and we also have a chance for some more showers to move in, especially for the morning hours. More on that here in a little bit, though. Here's your live look over Broadway. Overall, not too bad of a night out there. A little bit of a crowd. The Preds had their game tonight. 45 degrees. That's our current temperature in Nashville. Still cloudy, and those clouds will stick around with us through the rest of tonight. That rain chance, that's also going to be going up through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning as well. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We have a 41 in Murfreesboro, 45 in Tullahoma. Same goes for Columbia. 42 in Dickson, 41. That's the current temperature in Clarksville. Same goes for Hopkinsville. So a wide view of radar still showing these showers back west and south of us right here in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. These right now, though, up in the parts of North Mississippi and Alabama, those are going to keep on moving north, and that's going to leave us with that rain chance right here. Most areas are still dry right now, but we're finally starting to see a few of those showers begin to move into our southwestern counties. Most of that, though, is still some pretty light rainfall. So the showers move through tonight. A nice warm-up is on the way, and then more rain next week. I'll talk about all that in just a bit.
Two very different messages on the crisis.
What do you mean, like she didn't know we were nerds?
The Big Bang Theory. Tomorrow at 6 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
Continuing coverage now on crime connected to illegal immigration and the renewed focus on it.
As Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell shows us, while the majority of migrants come here to the U.S. for a better life, some of them are clearly breaking the law.
She was devoted to making this world a better place, and we have no doubt that she would have been an incredible nurse.
The horrific murder of 22-year-old Laken Riley, a nursing student out for a run last week on the University of Georgia campus, has thrust sanctuary policies back into the spotlight. The chief suspect, Jose Ibarra, was arrested for entering the country illegally in 2022 and then released on parole, only to be arrested again in 2023 for endangering a child. But that arrest occurred in New York City, deemed a sanctuary city.
What that means is that the local law enforcement will not cooperate with immigration authorities regarding someone they arrested for a local or state crime.
Instead, he was released, later moving to Athens, Georgia, where the murder occurred, and which did not have sanctuary laws in place.
No policies have been adopted by the mayor and commission that have created sanctuary city status in Athens.
Still, things got heated at a public meeting this week. The Athens mayor, a target.
You're insulting our intelligence, sir. You need to resign.
Anger boiling over around the country as local budgets are strained and resources tapped out, including in New York.
A lot of money is being spent to house people, to make sure they're not in the streets and try to get them jobs. It's taken its toll on our state. We're at capacity.
The city of Denver, which has already scaled back services at the DMV and city parks, just announced it will close 4 migrant shelters to save the city $60 million.
That still leaves us $120 million of cuts to make, so that still means we have work to do.
Both President Biden and his likely 2024 rival spent the day at the southern border with some very different messages. Former President Trump has for months highlighted the detrimental impact of the border crisis on the entire country. President Biden, meanwhile, says a fix was in place with the bipartisan border legislation that Trump effectively killed when he urged Republicans to vote against it. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
I'm Atra El-Nashar in Washington with the latest read on inflation and what experts say about why it's taking so long.
Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Anheuser-Busch reporting a fourth quarter revenue decline of over 17%. This after the company and the Teamsters Union have reached a tentative contract agreement avoiding a strike. The deal includes job security for all 5,000 members, average wage increases of 23%, and increased pension contributions. Employees are critical of the company's spending on advertising rather than on their wages, including this ad highlighting its employees.
We grow the barley that makes your beer.
I grow the rice.
I grow the hops.
I make the steam. No steam, no beer.
Wendy's now saying customers will not face a price hike for burgers. This following backlash from customers after the chain's CEO hinted at the possibility of dynamic pricing. Burger King taking advantage of the controversy, offering new deals on its app. BK customers can now get a free Whopper or Impossible Whopper with a purchase of $3 or more through Friday. And Oprah Winfrey is leaving the board of Weight Watchers in May. The company's stock falling by as much as 25% after the announcement. Winfrey's departure comes as Weight Watchers struggles to keep up with popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic. That's business. In New York, CJ Papa, Fox News.
Covering the economy tonight, if you are feeling the pain of high interest rates, you will want to pay close attention to a fresh inflation report.
Well, it's showing more evidence the Federal Reserve's path to bring down inflation isn't as smooth as many would like. Fox 17 News' Atra El-Nashar takes a look.
Inflation reports out this month reflecting bumps in the road on the way to relieving Americans of the painful burden of high inflation. The latest reading from the Commerce Department shows the inflation rate in January was lower than it was a year ago, but on a month-to-month basis was slightly higher.
What it is that prices in some areas are going up while prices in other areas are going down at the same time.
NerdWallet personal finance expert Sarah Rathner says more people are turning to credit cards to make ends meet, but it's a tricky time to rely on credit when interest rates raised by the Federal Reserve to fight inflation are so high.
We have heard that there is talk of interest rates eventually going down this year.
but we just haven't seen that yet. And so everybody is waiting with bated breath.
Fed officials say they don't have enough confidence yet that inflation is on a sustained path toward their 2% target to start lowering rates. New York Fed President John Williams doesn't expect to hit that target until next year.
The risks to this forecast are two-sided. Inflation may surprise on the upside, or consumer strength, which has been a major driver of the robust growth we saw last year, may fade more quickly than I anticipate.
Another person who's keeping a close eye on those risks is JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon.
I just think it may not come down that quick and people may be surprised. So when people talk about, the market is kind of pricing a soft landing, that may very well happen, but, the odds at 70 or 80%, I would give them half of that, that's all.
Though the economy has a good chance of dodging a recession, individuals may feel something like a personal recession.
According to NerdWallet's annual household debt study, costs are up 20%, while median income is only up 12%, and that's looking at the last 4 years or 5 years since 2019.
The Fed does meet again next month, but according to the popular CME Fed Watch tool, a likely rate cut isn't predicted until June at the earliest. In Washington, I'm Atrel Nishar.
Today was a little on the cool side, and we're going to stay a little cool for tomorrow too, but a good warm-up is on the way for this weekend. We're also going to be drying out behind this rain chance that we have for tomorrow. I'm going to show you one more live look over Broadway tonight. Still a decent crowd out there. We have temperatures right now in Nashville in the mid-40s, so 45 right here in Nashville, and tomorrow temperature is going to stay fairly the same as what we had today. Still cloudy out there, and that's how it's going to stay through the overnight hours too. Temperatures right now for everybody else, we're in the 30s and in the 40s. 41 Murfreesboro, 45 in Tullahoma. It's 42 in Dickson, and we have 45. That's the current temperature down there in Columbia. As far as the radar is showing, this is a wide view of the radar. Still seeing these showers back west and south of here, but this rain that you're seeing right there in the parts of North Mississippi and Alabama, that's going to keep on moving up north, and that's going to leave us with that rain chance as we head through tonight. Here in the Middle Tennessee, even up into southern Kentucky too. This is a 3-hour radar loop. Still most areas still dry. Down in Wayne County though, still seeing some showers trying to move into that area. Also pushing in closer to Lawrenceburg too. Maybe a little bit of moderate rainfall right there where you're seeing that shade of yellow, but that is about it. Overall, nothing to worry about for right now. And for tonight, not expecting really any thunderstorm activity, so that's more good news. Definitely no severe weather threat for tomorrow either. This is the midnight picture. These showers are going to start to work their way up closer to Interstate 40, probably moving into the Nashville area by about 1 o'clock tomorrow morning or so. We're going to keep these off and on showers with us as we head through the rest of tomorrow morning. That's the 7 o'clock picture. Still kind of widespread. Most of this shouldn't be too heavy. Could see a few pockets of some slightly heavier rainfall down there in our far southeastern counties, down near the Tullahoma area, places like that. This is noon, so we're going to start to clear out a little bit better, and then by the afternoon hours, just some spotty showers, but off and on showers will be possible throughout most of tomorrow. The best chance of rain is going to come in the morning hours. As we head on into Saturday and Sunday, I think we're going to dry out pretty nicely. Could see a few very light showers Saturday morning. Overall, though, Saturday looking pretty dry, so is Sunday. This is the future rainfall amounts. This is for the rain that's moving through tonight through tomorrow. We're looking at about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch in our northwestern spots, and then down here in some of our southeastern counties, closer to 1/2 inch, maybe just a little bit more than that. So Sunday, we're going to be staying dry, and then as we head on into Monday, we start to increase that rain chance. I think the best chance of rain next week looks to come on Tuesday. We're going to likely see some showers and thunderstorms. Check out your temperatures, though, for the weekend. Mid-60s Saturday, mid-70s Sunday. We'll keep it in the mid-70s on Monday. And then as we head on into Tuesday, down to the upper 60s, but a better chance for some showers and storms.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
While the largest wildfire in Texas history continues to burn in the Panhandle, now they're getting snow, enough to jackknife this tractor-trailer on Interstate 40. Earlier, the winds got smoke all the way to El Paso, while they were also seeing clouds building ahead of a storm system. And we are not sure exactly where over the Rockies this photo was taken, but it was too beautiful not to share.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
You can see more stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk. It starts at 8 a.m. on our sister station.
Golden chicken breast on a flaky biscuit. Breakfast doesn't need to be bougie, just good. And served till 11 a.m.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Predators.
A historic moment for the Tennessee Titans as team leaders break ground on a new domed stadium. The work that got started today is going to wrap up in the spring of 27.
But as Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick explains, the team says this new home will be worth the wait.
For 27 years, this has been the home of the Tennessee Titans. Home to Titans games, also concerts and community events for the city of Nashville. Now there will be a new home right here in this area next to the old stadium. Now that new home isn't coming for a while. 2027 is expected to be the first NFL season with the Titans' new stadium, but there will be several milestones along the way. For example, the half of the outside structure of the new stadium is expected to be completed before this year, 2024's NFL season, and the rest of that outside structure, the skeleton if you will, should be completed by 2025. Of course, all the technology and the bells and whistles will make this whole piece exciting, but it was also important to the franchise to make sure that this was also a place that represents the community of Nashville and the spirit of this city.
I think it's pretty hard to understate how important this moment is. It's a mark the moment for Nashville and Tennessee. Certainly it's great for our franchise too. We're excited for the team, we're excited for our fans, but I think it's a lot bigger than even our franchise.
I think the future's bright. You know, Amy made a commitment to be here for another generation, however long that is, a new lease. And I think the organization is doing everything they can to be a Super Bowl contending team, and I'm really excited about the moves that they made.
It is for the fans all across this state. It is for the people that will benefit that might never even come to this stadium, but will benefit from the opportunities that are created and the impact that it has on the view that the rest of the world has of our city and of our state that makes us the best state in the country.
Country music stars Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks also took part in the groundbreaking and even got their hands dirty a little bit and picked up a shovel. The two of them mentioned how excited they are, of course, for the new stadium to be built, and also how excited they are to be playing it one day. Once again, re-emphasizing that this new home will not just be the home for the Titans, it will be a home for everyone here in Nashville. Reporting from the future home of the Tennessee Titans, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Well, very exciting, and this is too. Tonight's Fox 17 X poll asking our viewers which feature at the new Titan Stadium you're most excited about. Is it the roof, you know, that dome? Is it the rooftop bar, the stage for live music? Or are you just not really excited about this whole thing? The majority of folks say not so excited, 46%. But the next place there, 37.3% say fired up about the roof on this place, the dome. Our thanks to you for voting, and we'll have a new poll for you tomorrow night.
A new recommendation for yet another
crash. If the insurance company isn't helping you with your car, how do you think they're going to deal with you about your injuries? We can help. Call us at 615-242-9000.
In the path forward tonight, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommending that seniors across the country get another shot of that COVID-19 vaccine.
Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus explains why a sixth shot may be just what some doctors ordered.
Infectious disease specialists say this recommendation for older adults to get an additional dose of the COVID-19 vaccine is really about two things. The first is that immunity from the vaccine starts to fade in about 3 to 4 months. Advisors making this recommendation say it's now been about that long since the newest COVID-19 vaccine gave us a boost against the latest variants circulating of the coronavirus. The second is that we are just a few months away from the summer season. And if you think back,
as for the past, 3 to 4 years, we've had a summer surge of COVID right around July, late June, early July timeframe, and they're concerned about that surge as well.
If you're keeping track, that means you got 3 shots from the original vaccine, at least one of the bivalent booster, and one of the most recent new and improved COVID-19 vaccines, which means this new recommendation would mean shot number 6?
Yeah, it could be, yeah. But so far, it seems like every time a patient gets a booster, their immunity, is pushed back up into a protective range, and that's what we want.
If we don't get a summer surge, Dr. Blatt says, well, we'll likely go to an annual COVID-19 vaccine. And while many of us have questions about how sick we would really get right now if we got the virus, or if we really need another shot of the vaccine, he does suggest we remember this.
There's still about 2,000 people a week dying from COVID infection throughout the U.S., which is not a small number. I mean, that's pretty dramatic.
If you have questions, of course, about any vaccination, your own doctor, the best person to answer those questions. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Liz, thank you. All right, somebody's raining on our parade tonight.
Yeah, there will be a little bit of rain. I'm sorry about that.
I'm not sorry. Am I the only one?
That's true.
Megan loves it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that
It
do.
is great sleeping. It'll be a little bit cool tomorrow again, though. 52 degrees. Our high temperature.